Oh, yeah. All right. So there's another chart. I only have two charts, so don't worry. So I think I have a little video walkthrough. So this is like, and the interesting stuff is like the site's pretty and it feeds in a lot. It's like really dynamically sort of built, and there's a Dick in a Box live. But the interesting thing actually is that what we ended up doing as part of this process, because we built like this this sort of content management tool for him to manage his social networks and different fan clubs and different like kind of products and things like that, is we ended up kind of making a product that that can be reused or sold to other people that are in the same position as Justin Timberlake, which is actually a surprising number of people, not just like musicians, but like people that maybe didn't start as like a business person, you know, didn't have like a business sort of infrastructure, and then suddenly found themselves like kind of in global demand and have to sort of manage that, you know, on like kind of a massive sort of scale. So I don't know, it was pretty interesting. All right, so here's a pretty interesting example of using the internet and some offline stuff to direct traffic to a certain part of a website, and also to do some brand building in a pretty difficult space actually. So CNN, I actually took this screenshot like an hour ago because I thought it was a pretty good shirt. So CNN had, ignore this for a second, they added video to their website like a year ago maybe, and it was a big pain in the ass for them actually. Like it was really unpopular because not many people sort of noticed the little video icon, and they'd be in a meeting at work and like click on a headline and think that they were going to get like an article, and it would be a video with sound, and you'd be like, oh fuck, like now they know I'm looking at the news and not doing my work. Or you just like you want to read and you get a video and it's just sort of not, you know, what you're into. So we had two goals. One was sort of raise awareness of the video availability on the site, and they were already doing this like overtly. They already had like ads, they already had like banners on CNN.com, they had like signs outside, they ran it on TV and stuff, and it just wasn't like kind of clicking in people's heads. Like they just sort of ignored it. So what we started thinking was, how can we direct people to sort of the video area of the site for another reason, you know, when they're not actually sort of out there consuming news. So we needed to get come up with a reason for people to go to articles on CNN when they don't actually care about reading about the articles, like just to sort of raise awareness, you know. And then the other side of it was that CNN wanted to do marketing that made them seem more fun and interesting, but they had a really hard time because it's a news organization, so they have to be neutral. You know, they can't really have too much of a point of view, and they're a media site, so they have advertisers, and they couldn't really do something that was sort of going to get in the way of that. So we wanted to do something really fun, but that was also kind of neutral. You know, so we came up with this idea of letting you buy a T-shirt with the headline of the article that you're reading. You know, so now on some articles, such as Balloon Saga Dissolves into Fistfights, there's a little T-shirt icon, and you can click it, and you can buy a T-shirt with that. And we had like millions of people right away, like sort of driven to these articles with the T-shirt icons on it, because it was really popular on the internet that like CNN was doing this weird thing with T-shirts, you know. And so it initially served its goal of getting people to, you know, go to that section of the site. But then sort of secondarily, we ended up selling like $250,000 worth of T-shirts, which is pretty crazy for, like, we were selling them for like $20 a piece, and tons of people bought them. And wore them on the streets and things like that. So that's pretty good. I think that's it. There's a video, but you don't need to see that. All right, so this one's really interesting, like sort of just from a conceptual point of view and a process point of view. And I think more than most things, like we've actually really like helped this brand in a pretty serious sort of way. And it's GE, and this looks pretty boring. You know, I'm showing you a lot of really boring stuff. The last one I think is pretty, so you'll like it. And so this isn't even really a marketing project. This is like this sort of work in progress thing. But basically, I started talking to the chief marketing officer at GE recently, like in the springtime, and we're just talking about, you know, doing some marketing work together. And I was like, "How come your ads are so boring?" You know? And like they really are. Like they're like, for the most part, they're really boring ads because it's this massive global company that has all these different divisions and like tens of thousands of engineers doing all these different projects, and they have like a very small sort of central marketing department, and they do like 1 or 2 TV ads a quarter because that's what they have in their budget, and so they have to do an ad that encompasses the sum totality of the global entity that is General Electric, and there's no way that can't be, you know, just like boring, you know, like unless you focus on, you know, something a little bit more singular, inspirational, but like when you're trying to serve sort of all masters, like it can get really watered down, you know. And I was like, gosh, there must be so many interesting people doing so many interesting things in your company, and we could use the internet to talk about all that. And the folks at GE were like, that sounds great. How do we do that? And I was like, well, what are people doing that's really cool? And they're like, I don't know, it's got to be something. You know, and I mean, I'm simplifying, but actually, like, they didn't really know. Like, they weren't actually spending a lot of time sort of looking inward at like what was interesting about them, you know? So I was like, okay, here's a project. How about you hire us? Normally what we would do, you do like the initial part of a project, you do like some research and strategy and creative development. So we'd go off and like do some interviews and like talk to some people and talk amongst ourselves and come up with some clever ideas, and then go back and make a PowerPoint presentation and like present that to General Electric. And we were like, you know what? We need to like figure out what's cool about your organization, about your engineers, and you guys are paralyzed by the internet. Like, you just don't know where to start. So let us just sort of start for you. And we're going to go around and we're going to meet all these people, and we're going to do some interviews. We're going to take some pictures. We'll I have some like video clips. I don't know how much.